Merry Christmas, everyone! You know, the first reading starts out saying we should be joyful. And the psalm response is, sing a new song. Why? Well, because, as the gospel says, we're coming in touch with the Word. And the Word is God. If you recall, my dear friends, I told you that, these stories are in the Bible to help us to live our lives with a little more joy and a little more meaning. And that you have to go behind the story for the practical application in our daily lives. So here we see Jesus as an infant, a person obviously with no power. An infant is very dependent on parents for survival. And yet, he is representing the divine presence in our world. And he is the one who showed us how to be kind and just and comforting and loving. And the whole point of this story is that as Jesus was filled with the divine and made that visible in his life, that's our job. Because the divine presence is in us now. And it's our job to be able to reflect that divine presence. There are some people who do that in a very dramatic way. I got an email from a friend of mine in Geneva, Switzerland, and it was a story of this gentleman who every year gets a big pile of $100 bills and gives them away. And this year he decided to go to Phoenix. And there was a homeless person by the name of Moses Elder who was greeting the people, and he had a very positive attitude. And so this silent Santa pulled him on the side and said, look, this is what I want to do. I would like to give you $3,000 in $100 bills, and I want you to give them to anybody who you think is deserving. And so here is this homeless man on the street, greeting people. Some just walk by, ignoring him. Two women stopped by and put a few coins into his container. And he said, Merry Christmas. And he said, and here is something for you. And he hands each one a $100 bill. And this one woman was so overcome, she was in tears. And they hugged this man, this homeless man, and went off. And then there was a gentleman who came by, young, and he put in a coin. And so Moses stopped him and said, look, thank you for your gift, but I want to give you something back. And so he gave him a $100 bill. And this young man was so overcome because he has 7 children and had no money to buy gifts. And when he told his story to Moses, Moses gave him another $100. And this man was in tears, so overjoyed. My dear friends, that's a dramatic story. But each one of us has to be able to give in the only way that we know how. We're all unique. And so it's important for you to understand this. We rebirth Jesus every day, but always in a unique way. And you know, on the news the other day, I found two stories. This woman was in the airport going through security, and her baby stopped breathing. And this young lady who was trained in CPR jumped over the conveyor belt and grabbed this child and knew exactly what to do to get that child to breathe again. If you can imagine how grateful that mother was. And another story where this gentleman was driving down the street and he saw the car kind of weaving, and all of a sudden it pulled over to the side, and this woman got out frantic, and she went to the back seat and she pulled out her child. The child was choking. And the gentleman who was driving in the car, who had stopped, knew how to do a Heimlich maneuver and took that baby and was able to clear his throat. You know, these are the kind of things that change our society and get us closer to understanding how we create world peace. Let your Jesus light shine in the way that God wants it to shine. It's going to be unique. And you know, my dear friends, this is what Christmas is all about. It's to remind us that we have to constantly be reborn into the mind and the reality of the divine that is within us. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and that you can be very free in giving your love to those whose lives you touch, not only today, but every day of your life. Have a wonderful Christmas. God bless you all.